Thoma Ewen is with me at her studio with, this is your most recent commission, you told me?
My most recent commission is here on the loom. I'm about to take it off. So the weaving is complete and I'm just starting the finishing, and I'm binding off the top row. There's a hem that I wove at the top, and I'm now binding it off, and then I will cut the strings and tie them.
How long would it take a piece like this to make?
A piece like this takes 2.5 to 3 months if I am weaving full time. Yeah. There is a design process, first of all. This is a commission, so I worked with the clients who are actually in Edmonton. They sent me photos of the wall that they wanted to work for and paint chips, and I did a number of drawings for them. And
is this going to be in a private home or?
Yes, yes, it's going to be in a private home. Yeah.
Beautiful.
You might want to look at the front of it, though. That's
Yes.
the back. You're looking at the back. Yeah, you're looking at the back. So you can see the design part of it, and this is the drawing that I did. I actually did a series of drawings. So this is the actual drawing, and I had made out a grid when I enlarged it to do the tapestry. And
So you design it, you draw it first, you
yes,
these grids?
Yes, it was a series of drawings, and they actually were drawn like this, and I'm weaving it on its side. And we'll see when the work comes off the loom. I haven't even decided if it will go like this, or that's all right too. So it sort of got warmer.
Yes.
As I proceeded with it, and very often my process is like that. It sort of develops as I go.
Is it possible to move a little bit this?
So it's woven row by row, really row by row, or area by area, starting at the bottom and weaving up, and you can see there's like a green, about an inch of weaving, which is like a hem that will be turned under, and then I start to slowly build the design, weave the design, weave it sort of section by section or row by row. And my feeling about this was almost as if the lines of color that start out almost like in a quite linear way, almost like they opened up, like the colors opened up to reveal the wavelengths of all the colors in between. That's sort of energetically, that's what I felt was happening. I felt tremendous kind of opening in this tapestry, which I've really enjoyed. A good tapestry is one that you don't really want to finish because you enjoy weaving it so much, and this is one of them. So I'm very happy about that.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Was it your idea for this pattern, or was it theirs?
No, it's my idea. Yes, occasionally a client will sort of tell me what they want, sort of a rough general, say, subject matter. But usually sort of intuitively, when I see the place and sit and talk to people, I get a feeling of what they like and what they might like to see, and I do a number of drawings. Actually, I did several themes for this client, and this is the theme that they selected, so, yeah. But I will just keep.
It has a very festive look.
Yes, yeah, it's very happy, and
Yes.
lots of color. And,
like a celebration of...
Yeah, they wanted color, and I was a little bit concerned about sort of different colors side by side, you know, reds against blues, against greens, against yellows. And I mentioned that to them, and they said, no, they like color, and they liked the colors sort of touching each other. So I was happy about that.
When I was on the other side, I have to tell you, it looks nice from the other side too.
People say that to me. Some people say they like the back. The ends are very nice. I studied in Finland many years ago, and one of the Finnish types of weaving is raya or ruja, almost like rug, and it's a thick piled knotted technique that gives a pile even thicker than this. And when I first came back from Finland, my first exhibition in Toronto at the University of Toronto was a series of raya weavings that were all thick piled, that in the 70s actually.
Beautiful.
So I'm going in between every warp thread here to bind it off at the top. And this, you can see there's a hem of just plain weaving at the top too that will be folded back. Kind of like the hem of a garment. So tapestry is like a woven fabric, actually, meant to hang on the wall. And it's really quite ancient. The technique of weaving is Neolithic. It's wonderful.
Do you make your own looms? Or?
Yes, a lot of the looms are handmade. Some of them were made by me, but the truth is I'm not a really very good carpenter. But I've had some good carpenters make most of my looms, especially the ones that I use for community tapestry projects where we weave in different locations, so the looms have to come apart. And basically, as you can see, the loom is 4 pieces of wood, and with this loom it's nails at the bottom and nails at the top. And then the warp is a continuous warp that's strung between the nails. And for the community project looms,
They're smaller.
The 4 pieces of wood come apart. There is, like this one, there is a peg that, you know, there's a slot and a slot here, and this top beam goes through it, and then this holds it. So it's a really very simple construction. The pegs, the warp is around to one of the pegs, and I have 2 of these community project looms that come apart. This one is held together by bolts, and this one I took to France with me to direct a community project for the Bibliothèque de Lyon, the Lyon libraries. And this design was actually copied for a project that I directed in England called the Big Weave Project that is still continuing. So a group of people in England, in Reading actually, learned about my community projects and decided to start a project called the Big Weave, and invited me to come and direct it and to teach members of the staff of Maiden Airlie Community Art School how to do community weaving projects. And this is a poster from the Big Weave Project in England. It was funded by the British Arts Council and the arts colleges, and and so we went to a number of different locations and wove in public. The public weaves on these projects. It's quite wonderful.
Wonderful. So you travel a lot?
I travel quite a bit. Yeah.
I know that you're working with your daughter a lot. Is she traveling with you, or she's on her own?
Sometimes we travel together. We travel to schools. We did a wonderful community project with a school in Mirabel a month ago. We did a tie-dye project where each child, there were about 400 students in the school, they each did foot by foot tie-dye. So we sort of brought all the materials and taught everyone how to do it. And then each square is assembled together to make banners to go from the ceiling of the cafeteria. And it functions as both a sound buffer, because a cafeteria can be a noisy place with kids, and something very beautiful that they've all made. So community projects are wonderful because the public participates in the making of its own public art. So there is this ownership and pride and love for the work of art that's installed in that building, you know, a community center, a library, a school, even a city council hall. You know, when the community has come together to make the work, the citizens own that, and it's really wonderful. Very often our public art is sort of sometimes unreachable, ununderstandable. Sometimes it's negative, and it doesn't really make for a happy mix. And these community projects, there's just so much enthusiasm and love and good energy that goes into them. They're wonderful.
Some of your artwork looks like big carpets, big rugs, and others they look like blankets, others they look like they have different, they look like objects of art. It's hard to really categorize. They are really art objects. So are they fall under these categories?
Art, yes. Yes, I consider myself an artist. I did a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, first of all, and then I did graduate studies, and I apprenticed with a tapestry artist, and I work as an artist, you know, in developing your designs, in drawing, and then in interpreting the drawings in tapestry. It's very much an art form, and it's an ancient art form.
For example, this one.
Yes, this tapestry is called Coming In, and it's from a series of 10 large pieces. They were all this size that I did in the early 90s, light refraction tapestries. And this is number 7 or 8, I think, Coming In. The first tapestry there is also one of them called Enter the Spiral.
From the same series?
Yeah. Yeah, Enter the Spiral. So light refraction tapestries, it was really an intuitive exploration of energy flow patterns, light, energy, sound. Everything moves in sound waves, spirals, rays of light. So one of the themes that has fascinated me is energy and light. So very often light and energy are kind of depicted in the tapestries. You can see it sort of very clearly in, for instance, this one over here called Ribbons of Light, and this other tapestry offering spider rock there, almost like the light. The light both comes out and comes down. And this tapestry is sort of an image of an experience I had. I took a trip to Canyon de Chelly in Arizona, as I entered close to the canyon, and Canyon de Chelly has Spider Rock, which is the Navajo sort of sacred site and the spiritual home of the Navajo people. And you may know the Navajo people are a tribe of weavers. They have been doing weaving for a millennium. And as I entered the park, the national park of Canyon de Chelly in the United States, I felt this tremendous energy, and it was very much a heart energy. And you are in the canyon, and this spider rock is so immense, and it goes all the way up from the floor of the canyon. And there are 2 rocks, and it almost looks like a man and a woman side by side. And I had this vision of a butterfly, a big green butterfly, coming and sitting on my hand. And so same time I thought of my spiritual teacher, a Buddhist teacher named Namgyal Rinpoche, and sort of all of the study that I had been doing and research into weaving over the previous 10 years sort of came together in that moment, and this design sort of came into my mind, and as soon as I got home I started it. So these are these wonderful rock formations of Arizona, New Mexico, and I called this offering at Spider Rock because it was like this butterfly sort of came as an offering. And the wonderful part about understanding and researching a little bit of the Navajo ideas of weaving is that they believe that weaving is a sacred path because it transmits the energy of peace. And this is very easy to understand, actually. After you've woven, I've woven for almost 40 years now, and when you weave, every movement is followed by its opposite. So you move from right to left, followed by left to right. You go in, out, back, forth, up, down, left, right. And this continual repetition of one movement followed by its opposite actually creates balance and harmony in the weaver, and then that's transmitted to the viewer. And so people say when they look at my tapestries, they experience sort of calm. And that's because they are filled with this weaving energy. If you weave on a piece for 3 to 6 months, that energy is transmitted into the fibers. They carry that energy, and just the actual mechanics.
What about this one?
This is from a series of pieces that I did a few years ago, and it was rolled up in a barn, and I decided to take it out. It's called Sacred Blanket for a Warrior Maiden, the Ties That Bind. And it's woven out of sisal. It's actually, I actually have a structure made for it so that it stands up, it's freestanding. But I just took this part out and decided to look at it again. I kind of wanted to reconnect with some of the feelings I was having at that time, which were very free, and I needed to see it again. So it's it got a little bit, not exactly crushed, but some of these maybe should not be quite as twisted as they are, and it will gradually sort of relax out, and when it's hanging up, they will. These are all the ends of the weaving that I tied with actually copper wire. Yeah, and sisal is a beautiful fiber to work with. It's very natural. It's just the fibers of plants, very large leaves that are grown in South America, and they're beaten and removed, and you can do just. I think it's actually sisal is used for mats, but it's a wonderful fiber. So I did several of these pieces that were all actually meant to go outdoors.
There's another one with a butterfly here.
Yeah. This piece is called Red Moon, and the title comes from a poem called Red Moon by Dr. Norman Bethune. And there's a little red moon here.
Yes.
In the tapestry. And I got this image at my father's bedside when he was dying, actually, in Regina. And
are you from Regina?
I'm originally from Vancouver. My father lived the last part of his life in Regina, and but he had fought in the Spanish Civil War, and my family had worked with Bethune, Dr. Bethune, in Spain and in China, and they were all all shared the same ideals of building a better world. And when he died, he was awarded a medal from the Spanish government because of fighting in the Spanish Civil War in the 1930s. And I think in some of the citations there was this poem written by Dr. Norman Bethune, and this was an image that came to mind, and when I got home I started to weave it.
Have you been to Spain? Have you been teaching in Spain?
No, I haven't been to Spain, no, and I'm about to go to Poland, hopefully, for an exhibition. I'm in a group exhibition in Poland of 8 international tapestry artists, so I hope to go there for the first time. There's a long history and tradition of tapestry weaving in Poland, so it should be a remarkable experience. Also, one of the most renowned textile arts events in Łódź, Poland, and our exhibition takes place at the same time, so I hope to be able to see the works in the Biennale in Łódź.
You also have an event in here in August.
We have a wonderful event in August called La Triennale Internationale des Arts Textiles en Outaouais 2013. I'll say that in English. The International Textile Arts Triennale 2013 takes place here in the Outaouais. The Outaouais is the region of West Quebec. And we have the event is comprised with outdoor textile arts installations that are on a walking path here at Moonrain Center. It's a 1.5 kilometer walking path here, and the textile arts installations are lined all along it. I have collaborated with exhibition centers, museums, art galleries in the whole region of the Outaouais to program textile arts exhibitions, international textile arts exhibitions. So this is a phenomenal event that is happening that really brings together the world of textile arts. So we also have workshops here at Moonrain Center in all sorts of fields, taught by renowned textile artists and teachers. So it's quite a phenomenal event, and I work with Gabrielle Ewen Phillips, my daughter, who it was actually her idea to do this, that Moonrain Center establish a recurring triennial of textile arts. And she is in charge of the installations section and of the workshop section, and I have specialized in the exhibition section of the triennial.
Those little, are those prints of your
These are
photos?
These are a series of drawings. I did about 20 drawings, and this is what I have left of the drawings. And I did 7 tapestries. So the two little ones at the beginning, the big one in the center, the one on the floor that I'm still working on. This was actually number 1 in the series. The one behind it was number 2. Number 3 is sold. This one is number 4. This is called, the whole series called Aurora Borealis Behind the Trees. And this is number 4. And this one is Aurora Borealis Behind the Trees, number 4, Curtain of Light. This tapestry back here is number 5. And this is the drawing for number 5. That's the drawing for number 5. This is the sketch I did for the number 4, the one that's hanging here in the center. So I just worked from a very rough sketch. The one on the floor that I'm about to put the Velcro on is number 6. And then this little one is number 7. Just a tiny little sample tapestry. And
The
this-
smaller ones, did you do them on different type sizes of looms?
Yes, yes, I wove that on a very tiny loom when I was doing demonstrations at an art show, actually. Yeah. And this tapestry I have not yet woven.
And when do you think you'll?
Oh, I don't know. Don't know.
Beautiful. So usually you draw before you
Yes.
start.
Yes, I usually draw.